All right, back at it again with Fillmore.
Oh
This is
yeah.
Action. Hell yeah. Action Toon Bros, episode 80. Fillmore, season 1, episodes 7 through 9. Oof, magoof.
Oh
This show,
boy.
I was saying, yeah, but before we started, I was about to say, this show I think has more notes per episode than most of the movies we've done for movie garbage. And those are like 2.5 hour ass fucking pieces of shit. And this show, I'm
Crazy
like
to
taking so many notes because so much is happening in such a crammed amount of time.
crazy to think
Uh,
about, really. Yeah. But
yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, every scene in every episode is so fucking full of like a bunch of shit happening. It's insane. That's why I fucking love this show so much. It's so like surprisingly well conveyed and written and everything. So yeah, an episode or two ago, I like soft pitched an idea where we would like pseudo give suggestions or related media. Like we were already doing new music bands and stuff for me to listen to, the various metal things from Metalocalypse. And I was saying, yeah, if you had a chance, would you be able to like try to like get an episode of some kind of procedural cop thing or any kind of mystery show or movie or something like that in before we did this next episode? Now, I have a couple of things that I did like just unintentionally, just because like like I say, I always go to the movies like multiple times a goddamn week practically.
Yeah, you really do,
Um,
dude.
yeah. It's a fun hobby that costs way too much in this day and age for movie theater tickets.
It really
But
does.
but yeah, did you manage to see or watch anything procedural or at least like mystery wise in the time since we last recorded?
Well, I guess technically this would be cheating, but I
Mm-hmm.
did watch because we've listed many different like procedural crime, mystery, etc., etc. And
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned this one, but I did happen to watch a movie that took a normal formula and actually did a very good job with a mystery type story. I guess technically it would have been a whodunit type thing.
That's how half the show's episodes are whodunits. So of course, yeah.
However, now I don't know if you've ever seen this movie or not, but I watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh boy.
Look, I get it. Technically, it's cheating because it's Batman, but technically, it's
No.
also a crime and mystery kind of thing.
He is one
However,
of his tag is the
rather
world's greatest detective, so it completely
well,
tracks. Don't worry.
true, but rather than it like following the same formula of you already know who the fucking villain is. It's all he gets the fight so and
Yeah.
so. Not only do you get introduced for the first time to a new villain, but this entire time you're figuring out who that villain is exactly. And no,
Yeah.
for those of you who haven't seen the movie, no, it's not Joker. Get your head out of your butts.
Thank goodness. I remember that movie. Yeah, and also the person who is the Phantasm that comes back in the series finale of Justice League
Yes.
Unlimited, which it crosses over with Batman Beyond as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does, and which is a nice little nod, and just like it was refreshing to like watch something that was Batman the animated series, but like they actually treated it like they had time rather than having like the half an hour that slot that they had. They had like time to actually flesh out a legitimate like Batman mystery kind of story, and it was refreshing to see, just like, oh, we're not just figuring out who this villain is. We need to know who this villain is, because for those who don't know, the Phantasm definitely is a person in a costume and a full-on mask too. So
Yep. It is
just
a
try to
suited
yeah,
person, and you're trying to figure out the
right. So
mystery. Yeah, it's very cool.
trying to figure out who it is on like actually who the person behind the mask is, kind of a refresher in my opinion. But yes,
Yeah, I was gonna.
I
Yeah,
do. I
did you Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead. Go
do
ahead. Finish
plan
up
on
first.
trying to like not stay within my comfort zone, because technically Batman the animated series is one of my favorite animated series of all time. So that is kind of within my comfort zone, but I do want to branch out. Maybe not watch
Yeah.
entire like series or seasons or something,
Oh
but like
no! I would
at
never do
least
that. That'd be
try to watch
insane amount of
some
work.
kind
Yeah.
of like crime type show that I would not go out of my way to watch.
Yeah. That's very. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate that it's a good ass thing you watched. You still haven't seen The Batman, the Rob Pattinson one, right?
I have yet to see that one.
Okay, yeah. That one's a pretty straightforward mystery of him just being a detective too. It's also pretty good. But also, I was gonna say, so yeah, I appreciate you putting effort in. And like I said, it's an amazing watch and a fun actual mystery. For me, I watched 2 movies like a week or 2 ago. I watched the new Naked Gun starring Liam Neeson, which is a sequel to the old 3 movies that the old ones, and the Police Squad TV show that what's his name did back in the day.
Mm-hmm. You said the Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's pretty much a how catch 'em, because it's also, obviously if you've seen the trailer for, it is an absurdly hilariously funny parody of police shows and everything. Did you watch the original old Leslie Nielsen?
It's been
Naked Gun.
It's been a while. Is the Naked Gun one of them? Because there were a few of them. Is that the one with the ever famous scene? Who are you and how did you get in here? I'm a locksmith and I'm a locksmith.
I think maybe yes.
Yeah, because I know Leslie Nielsen is the one who delivers that line. But yeah, it's been a while, but I have heard surprisingly enough that the new one with
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen, Liam Neeson. It's kind of weird, but anyway.
And also he's playing his son. He's playing Leslie Nielsen's son in the movie too. It's very funny.
That's weird, but yeah. Either way, I heard surprisingly enough that it was actually a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, me and Ed go on and on for hours about the state of comedy movies not being not doing very well and not being made very frequently. This is just a straight up parody ass, long later sequel, pseudo reboot thing all those that was happening a couple years ago. It's incredibly fucking funny. It's a how catch 'em because you pretty much know who the villain is very early on, but it's just pretty much him just continuing to outsmart Liam Neeson's silly ass, and it's very fucking hilarious. A huge recommend. Definitely catch it in theaters if you can, or streaming even eventually. But yeah, it's a very, very funny cop spoof. This show kind of is a cop spoof. The other one I watched, which I also pitched everybody to definitely check out if you can, Weapons. Another absolute mystery. If you don't know the premise or whatever, go look up the trailer. It's a horror thriller.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, I actually did see a trailer for it because when you post it to everyone, to the group, you're like, hey, I saw this movie. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? Matt wouldn't go out of his way for something too bizarre, which, I mean, look, I know you go for the bizarre, but sometimes you do have your limits. So when I saw a trailer, it was under horror movie. Didn't expect it to also be a mystery type thing.
Oh yeah. The basic premise is that every student except for one in this one new teacher's class just disappear. And since it's 2025, a lot of them have Ring cameras at their houses, and you see all of them just woke up at 2:17 and ran out of their house with their arms stretched out in a really bizarre way. And it's a very, very, very cool. It's pseudo horror, but mostly just a mystery thing. It's very Stephen King feeling. Is it Zach Kreger's the director? He was if you've watched Whitest Kids You Know. Did you watch that back in the day, Ben?
I know only a few skits.
Okay.
You and I like to quote one of them.
Hell yeah. You would know him. He's part of that group. He's one of the guys in that group, and he directed Barbarian, another absolutely incredible horror movie. But now he's just recently started directing. Weapons is the second movie. It's an incredible mystery. It is also a pseudo horror movie, but I don't think it's not overtly scary. It's more of a weird mystery, a creepy mystery more than anything. But yeah, it's a fucking incredibly good movie. I'm probably gonna see it again because it was just so goddamn good, and I want to see it again. Just watching fun mysteries and then going back to this show, which is also a pretty competent ass fucking mysteries cop procedural ass show. Now I am ready to get to the actual show because this is not movie garbage where I'm going to do fucking 3 hours of preamble before the actual episode.
Yeah. We should probably just go straight into what is this? Season 1, episode 7.
Yeah, season 1, episode 7. Nappers
never
sleep. Act 1. To save a life virtual.
So we start off with our two main characters, Fillmore and Third, as they caught a they're wearing clown outfits and they caught a
They are
rodeo
arresting.
clown while
Yeah.
having a wagon full of yogurt.
Yep, he was stealing yogurt for the future rodeo clowns of America. This school's clubs just get more and more ridiculous every scene. The kid is like, "Hey, they wouldn't let me into the rodeo clowns. Can you believe it? Me, check this out!" And he leaps into a barrel of the yogurt, and they kind of just like Ingrid kind of just kicks the barrel over and like just like shoves it into the holding cell. Like, okay, we're this idiot. Ingrid is busy. She's like, they're talking about their weekends that they have coming up. Ingrid's talking about how she's going to be watching a bunch of TV and fixing her fighting robot, which I'm surprised we'll see come back in several episodes from now. But yeah, she's going to be watching TV and then fixing up her fighting robot. Fillmore is going to be fishing with the guys, who I assume are just other safety patrol officers, and having a family cookout. This is when we also see, it's also his mom's going to show him how to cook, I believe, mustard greens. Is this when
His grandma's gonna show him how to make mustard greens.
Yeah. He congrats Ingrid. Hey, Ingrid, you know what? Good job. And as they are preparing to go, Vallejo comes in, of course, with a mission. Folsom says she wants to see you too. We see that Folsom is actually happy because you guys of the Safety Patrol are the best, and they are the prides of the school. And she talks about how like you need to have pride in yourselves and pride in the others. And speaking of prides of the school, other schools have mascots or their rap. She mentioned two different schools. One has a mascot that they're proud of. Another has a rap group that they're proud of.
A freaking rap group. But this time, our school, we don't have Lobster the Lobster, which we've already talked about that. But no, we have a kid who owned this Tamagotchi kind of thing called a Dwapi.
Yeah, I think it's a. They never say what it's called. She keeps referring to it as a Wana Huzma Gucci thing, but specifically this one's name is Dwapi, and it is the oldest virtual pet in the country.
Yeah, we find out that like anyone who has like owned this thing for now on, since she kind of says this Tamagotchi whatever, like. Anyone who owns one of these, it's like they last like a week, maybe 2 weeks tops. But this one kid actually has this Tamagotchi known as Dwapi, and he has had it for 4 years.
Yep.
Oh Lord!
And it just has recently gone missing. And there is a TV spot coming up that wants to do an expose on it, but of course this is gone missing, so they can't do that. She wants it back before the TV special goes on. It belongs to the kid's name is Everett Conquest. So the first stop that Ingrid and Fillmore do is that they go to the house. They meet his mom, who really is not enthusiastic about the little Tamagotchi, about Dwapi.
Yeah, about the
She
Dwapi.
thinks that it's a waste of time, and she thinks that now he's doing better because he actually has a real friend, and so like he needs to leave all that shit behind. They go upstairs to meet him, and he is playing with a girl named Lorraine Almaden. They're playing some kind of like Parcheesi. No, it's like some kind of board game, and they're kind of like just playing together. He looks very depressed, but she looks very like encouraging to him what he's doing. She said that she's been his neighbor for years, and the mother's very happy that they're finally hanging out. Let's see what's the kid's
But
name?
immediately
Everett tells.
But immediately Everett's all like, "Oh, there you are, Safety Patrol," and he starts like kind of freaking out a little bit, like, I need your guys' help with finding Dwapi.
Yeah, he might die. He's my best friend. He also mentions that the two of them, like, you guys understand what's like, I'm a best friend, right? You guys are friends. Like, we're kind of co-workers and partners. And he's like, well, no, you guys are best friends, right? You guys hang outside of work. And they kind of like look at each other like, not really. And that's when Lorraine kind of says, "Hey, Everett, you need some time alone. I'm gonna hang out with Everett somewhere else where you guys investigate the scene." They go over the cleanliness of his room, and they say like, "Okay, well, whoever did this was in and out real quick. There's no mess up. There's no break-in or entry or anything like that. The culprit was fast and clean." And then they go outside and search the bushes, where they find a kitty crowbar.
Yeah, a kitty crowbar. But what was it like? Some kind of happy kitty fun time?
Happy cat head. It's happy cat head crowbar. It's an obvious Hello Kitty thing, but yeah, happy cat head. we see, like, as they go to the Happy Cat Head store, a kid is reading a magazine that's talking about virtual pet fancy.
Oh yeah,
and it doesn't do with the plot,
virtual
but it's just like
fancy. It's like missing. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it's just like
wow.
just a funny little bit. The shop owner says that he doesn't keep records of who buys Happy Cat Head crowbars, which is just an insane thing to have.
Right.
But he says there is an address book, which is also equally weird.
Yeah, a crowbar with, like, you take off the cat head and it has an address book. So they're like, hey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, man. And of course, as they walk out,
Ingrid's like, I gotta get one of these things.
Yeah, right. And then they pop open the address book. Because once they find out what addresses they've been, this person has been to, they can narrow down to who it is. But immediately, like, a giant mass of rubber balls.
It's like beach balls, right? They're like huge.
Well, yeah, they're like, at Walmart when you get, like, the freaking, like, tall thing of, like, the hollow bouncy balls that you can just reach in and grab. It's like a whole bunch of those, and they just pummel Ingrid and Fillmore. And as they're all, like, trying to get out of this mass of balls, you see, like, Fillmore's holding up the crowbar, and a mysterious hand grabs it. And after all that, Fillmore's just like, oh dang, nope. Well, actually, no, it cuts, because...
Yeah, this is when we get to... Act
2. The napper,
and the napped.
napped.
They see that the evidence is gone, but just in time, Ingrid managed to snatch a piece of the address off.
So she does a pencil rubbing and finds out that we get 577 something Meminger Lane.
Yeah. So there are 2 possible houses that it could be. They check the 2 houses. The first one is a girl and her friend who are having some kind of weird Spanish party, I think. I'm not sure what the hell it is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she has a sombrero on. She's like, me gusta. She's like, speaking like partial Spanish to them, and they're like, do you know this Happy Crowbar or Happy Cat Head crowbar thing? And he's like, nope. They go to the second house and they see that it is empty, but they do have a cool fish mailbox thing, and Ingrid takes a picture of it. Phil was like, what the hell was that about? And she says, oh, it's not pictures of weird mailboxes for my sister. And Phil was like, I didn't even know you had a sister. And then she's like, what about you, Fillmore? Do you have any siblings? He's like, no siblings, but I have a dog. And she's like, I didn't know you had a dog.
I didn't know you had one either.
We also find out it's been 1 month since the beginning of the series, and they have not hung out with each other outside of work yet. Which is funny, which is interesting. So it's like 1 month into the school year. Makes sense, I guess. But they say, man, make sure we got to hang out more after this whole thing goes down. That is when they run into the school cheer captain, Biana Wonders. Or Biana, I didn't write down her last name, but she wanders by, and she says that the empty house with the fish mailbox is her house. She says that she didn't steal... She's like, hey, you officers investigating my house, listen, we didn't steal those cheers. It's like a little shout out to the movie Bring It On. Very funny.
And even Fillmore's like, whoa, this ain't about cheers. We were wondering about Dwappy.
No, the Happy Crowbar.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Happy Cat Head Crowbar.
That's right, because they're keeping the Dwappy whole thing on the DL right now.
Yeah, they don't want anyone to find out. But she's like, really? Happy Cat Head? No, that's for like little kids. Actually, you know what? Lorraine is really into stupid Happy Cat Head. They're like, oh, really? Like, yeah, she used to be on the cheer squad, and she's all into all that dumb crap. They go to her house, and this is when they meet her very goofy chef dad.
Yeah. This guy.
Yeah, she says that the cheer squad came by earlier to selling cheese sticks. Is that what you guys are with? And they're like, no, we're here to just investigate the scene because Lorraine has a Happy Cat Head crowbar, and we found one, and possibly this is her address book. Lorraine is currently out, but he shows them to her room, and we see that it is complete, like just recently, like cleared up and cleaned up.
Yeah, it's like recently bare and everything like that. And when they ask,
does she? Yeah,
when they ask the dad if she's been a fan of the Happy Cat, what's it? He's just like, oh no, oh heavens no! Like he's really interesting. So they thought they found the bust, and they're like, so when did she like stop? And he's like, oh, at breakfast this morning. But immediately as they walk out of the room, they like as the door closes, a whole bunch of like happy cat whatever, like the closet door opens and a whole bunch of it like sprawls out, which of course it's a commotion. So they go back in and they see all of the stuff, including the crowbar.
And they match it to the missing piece of the address book, and it does match up.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. Lorraine and Everett also arrive at this very moment, and they see what's going on. She sees the address book, she sees the torn piece in their hand, and then of course she immediately fucking starts making a run for it. They run outside and like through the laundry. It's just like a giant collection of all the dad's aprons. There's also like a tiny playground that she runs through as well. She flees through the back door of Everett's house, but at the end of in the front door entrance, she is stopped by Everett himself. He just simply stands there and demands that she return Dwapi to him. But she says she does not know where he is. She thought that they're actually like interrogating her after that. She says that she always thought that Everett was cute and funny, but all he does is play with that stupid Dwapi, and she just wanted to get his attention. She did take Dwapi originally, and she was taking care of him, but she then subsequently lost him and does not know where he is now. And this is going to say all that they have left was at her house. All that she had left was a sketch of a dead Dwapi, and with a letter saying R.I.P.
Yep, R.I.P. Dwapi. And then we cut to Act 3. By
Dwapi
Avenged. And we see like this TV segment from
more.
Yeah, more. And we see crap, I actually forget his name already. Everett or something like that.
Yeah, Everett's the kid. Yeah,
Everett. Yeah. So like
Everett
talking about how Dwapi's missing.
And that in the reference to EverQuest? I wonder.
Dwapi,
Everett Conquest.
Oh my god, it might be. Anyway, so like we get this like
the expose is actually about the missing Dwapi this time now.
Yeah, right.
How old it is.
And after this whole like news thing happens,
pissed.
The principal turns off the TV and she's like, "This was supposed to be a happy moment. I gave you 24 hours. We were supposed to be talking about how this is the greatest thing ever, and you were supposed to be the best." And
she says, "Go talk to that Almada girl again." Everett says, "Like, come on, you guys." He says, he refuses to talk to her. He says, "I never want to speak to her again. Just go find Dwapi." And they're kind of just like, "Okay, well, he seems really pissed." They end up going back to her house and they search her room, and they ask why she quit every team recently, every activity she was doing, every the cheer squad, the gossip club. She quit all of it suddenly out of nowhere. And she says it was because she wasn't happy and she wanted to be someone else before it was too late. She felt the same was going on with Everett, where his shut-in lifestyle wasn't good enough. And we see her cheering. She's like, I looked in the mirror one day and I realized I wasn't the person I wanted to be, and I wanted to change that before it was too late. Which, I mean, middle school is, I guess that doesn't seem like it's too late. But
oh my goodness, that's right. She does say I'm 12 years old, so it's easy to do. I'm like, ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. They also talk about, so then why at the mall did you, that's where you did the ball stampede thing? And she's like, what are you talking about? You unleashed all those giant beach balls on us, right? And she's like, no, that wasn't it. And they're like, okay, well, then someone else planted the crowbar in the bushes? That doesn't make any sense. And they look outside at the lattice outside of her window, and they see that it's been broken down by either an adult or a really big kid. This is when they go back to the
they
father.
go back to the dad, and they're questioning him about if there's been anyone weird hanging around the house. And the dad, who is, by the way, who is reading War and Peace, mind you, is like, oh no, I mean, I was gone for a while, but no one strange has been here. No one, you haven't heard anything, you haven't seen anything. Nope, I've been right here. I'm going to be right here, and I'm going to read this book. Oh, I haven't even taken off my hat.
Such a weird goof. They search the entire house and Everett. They find Everett's mom is hiding inside of their TV closet.
And then she admits, she's like, yeah, I mean, okay, fine, you caught me. I would have been able to get away with it if someone hadn't decided to read all of War and Peace in one sitting, but
Yeah.
yes, I saw you guys at the Happy Cat Head store, and I knew you guys were like getting close to finding out, who took it and everything. But I didn't want that, so I decided to throw balls at you and you know. Oh wait, no,
Happy
that's
Cat Head
right.
Crowbar.
Yeah.
She
That's
says
right.
that
She's
she
like,
does not have Dwapi, but she was happy that she wanted it destroyed.
Well,
and
right.
Yeah, and then she explains.
But
Yeah.
she also
thought that
mentioned
Lorraine
that the
had
reason,
Dwapi.
she wanted Lorraine to still be in Everett's life because that's Everett's first like person friend. So that's why she tried to take it back and plant it back in the closet.
Yep. Now she says like I don't have Dwapi. I hope it's destroyed. And now they're back at square one. They go to the school at night and they still have no leads. Everett comes and apologizes to them for yelling. He's like, I'm sorry for my outburst, but I just really need Dwapi back. And I'm not sure I'll ever be able to forgive Lorraine. And then Fillmore gives him a little speech about not losing real friends because they're rare. You shouldn't give up on people. And, she really cares about you. What she did was messed up, but she does care about you, and you shouldn't give up on her immediately for that. And then he realizes that Biana, the cheer captain, was also Lorraine's friend. And he also remembers that they said that the cheer squad was by the house selling cheese sticks earlier that day. The same thing that happened when Dwapi went missing. They go to a curling match being held by the school that has the cheer squad going. Biana is there, and she's shit-talking Everett to Lorraine, saying, hey, you should give up on that loser. You don't need him anyway. And this is when the officers arrive, and they say, hey, can we speak with you real quick, Biana? And she's like, sure, let me just, I'll go with you guys. And then this random British cheerleader starts saying, like, hey, Biana, don't forget your bag. And she's like, can you hold on to it for me? He's like, oh, no, don't worry. I'll give it right here. She tosses the bag, and you hear it falls to the ground. A bunch of gum and stuff falls out, but then we start hearing the beeping of a virtual pet, and we just cut to Fillmore in them faces
Yeah, and then we just get another wonderful chase scene of running through running on the ice, running through the hall, ripping a banner, and the chase ends at the pool where one of the doors is locked, and instead we get our first threat. She takes out Dwapi and she holds it over the pool and is like, Lorraine was my best friend. And then she left everything for that dumb Everett kid. We should have been together. It should have been us against the world. And of course, you know, Fillmore gives that speech about, losing real friends and stuff like that. It's not too late to do the right thing. And she's like, I had that once. But if I can't have Lorraine, then he can't have Dwapi.
Yeah. Intense. Not coded at all.
literally tosses it. And fortunately, through some stroke of luck, Fillmore catches Dwapi.
Fillmore leaps into the pool, catches it on his finger, and
and then flings it back to Ingrid as he lands in the pool. Ingrid catches it, takes care of it, and is like, all right, he's safe. And now we go back to that more TV show where we see the principal yes, and everything turned out okay. I want to thank the safety patrol for doing everything in their power to make this wonderful.
And it cuts back to the actual team, watching the show, and they're like, hell yeah, they cheer because the officers are getting the shout out.
And then of course Everett and Lorraine walk in, and they're Everett's like, hey, thanks for finding Dwapi for me, but honestly, I learned something. I took what you said to heart, and honestly, I really don't want to lose my friend, so here.
He says, I got Dwapi back, but I still wasn't happy, and I realized that I wanted my other friend back too.
So he's like, here, you can have Dwapi, and Fillmore's like, Ingrid, you can have Dwapi, and you see her on the phone like, what's that, Dad? I can never own a virtual pet, ever. You can tell she's being coy about everything. And so he accepts Dwapi, and Ingrid's like, yep, that's great, that's good. Now you enjoy your weekend. And he's like, well, I'm not going to do it alone. I made sure they all knew that I invited you over.
Yeah, we should
I
have
hope
dinner.
I hope you're looking forward to dinner. She's like, well, I am, but like, unless you're making the mustard greens. In that case, and then
Yeah.
that's
They walk off into the day, on the intent to become closer friends. Yeah, very fun episode. The bit with Biana and Lorraine was I felt like it was very coded for a 2002 animated show. Like they couldn't get away with something more like weird, like explicit or anything, or LGBT or anything like that. But also, I wanted to talk about virtual pets. Now, I think I don't know if it was at the beginning of this episode or the previous episode. Or no, it was off mic. You said you didn't listen to the Digimon episode yet, right?
correct. I have not yet.
Okay. I was saying that the origin of the Tamagotchis and Digimon and their relation to Pokemon and everything like that, there was like a whole big long debate between Digimon and Pokemon fans about which came first and stuff like that. And I was saying, Ben, which do you think came first, Pokemon or Digimon?
Oh, which one do I think?
Yeah.
Well, I think I know where you're going. I think I know where you're going with this, so I'm just gonna cheat. Monster Rancher.
No, that's not the. There was a different bit with Monster Rancher. No, not related to that.
Oh, it is
no,
not.
saying,
Wait, you said Pokemon or Digimon?
Yeah.
What? Okay, I'm probably falling into a trap with this one, but something tells me it was Pokemon.
Well, first there was Tamagotchi by Bandai Namco.
Correct.
A virtual pet thing, obviously, yeah, very huge. Still going to this day, which I was very surprised about. But there was a debate because then Tamagotchi said, like, okay, well, they're doing well sales-wise, but it seems to be only girls buying them. We need to, butch this up a little bit. We need to get guys to buy these. So instead of, Tamagotchi friends, now we're going to put some dinosaurs with guns, and we're going to call them Digimon, little digital monsters you play with. So it's literally the exact same company, the exact same toys, Tamagotchis, but they rebranded it to Digimon, digital monsters, as the little Tamagotchi toys. Now, after that, the Pokemon video games and, stuff started, and after that got popular, then Digimon got an anime and everything and all the other more explicit video games. So, like, people say, Pokemon was first because it actually has an actual game and an actual show before Digimon had, while they were still like weird little Tamagotchi toys, but technically Digimon existed before because it was a Tamagotchi spinoff. But yeah, Tamagotchi's a very, very cool thing. I go into the more explicitly into the story in the actual episode of the Digimon just to pimp my other shit. But like I was saying, yeah, they're still going today because like, I go to Comic-Con every year, and there's still a very big Tamagotchi booth, and they have a shit ton of tie-ins to like all kinds of stuff. They have Jurassic Park tie-ins. They have the Monster Hunter tie-ins. They have like all kinds of really huge, cool Tamagotchis that they're still making to this day. And I have unopened Jurassic Park Tamagotchis like downstairs right now.
Matt.
Yeah.
You forgot the most important Tamagotchi ever. I only knew that Tamagotchi still existed because, like, a few months ago, my friend introduced me to a Tamagotchi that they really, really wanted, but it was really, really expensive. You forgot the ever so classic Hatsune Miku Tamagotchi that they have.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
Sorry, joking aside. Joking aside, but it Matt, you're blowing my mind right now because first off, I didn't know Tamagotchi still existed. Secondly, I didn't even know Digimon actually technically came first, chronologically speaking, at least. And that the entirety of Digimon was based off of it was Tamagotchi for boys.
Yep.
Because everything in the 80s, 90s was coded that way.
Of course.
And and the fact that Tamagotchi is still making stuff.
Yeah,
wow.
I think I posted in the thing back a couple years ago, back when the Monster Hunter event was happening. The Monster Hunter like Tamagotchi Digimon thing was very, very fucking cool. And yeah, I really wanted those things. It was fucking awesome as hell. But yeah, Tamagotchi's still going strong, surprisingly.
That's insane.
like I said, I literally have 2 unopened ones for the Jurassic Park tie-in back when Jurassic Park World Dominion was coming out. It's a Triceratops one and I think a T-Rex one I have downstairs. Yeah, unopened still because they're just... Oh, there was also Kingdom Hearts. They had the Kingdom Hearts one as well. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Insane. the other thing, obviously, talking about long-term friends. Are you still in communication with anybody you've been friends with for like a super damn long time? Because I was saying the other day when again to bring up, I cannot non-stop bringing up movie garbage. Ed's kids were being picked up by his parents, and I've known Ed's parents literally since we were in elementary school together. And so like we were catching up. I was like, yeah, what's going on? Hey, but yeah, I've known them for like over 20, like probably 25, 27 years. And like, yeah, me and Ed have been friends for like over 2 decades now.
I mean,
still like, yeah, but yeah.
I'm not gonna say it wasn't from lack of trying, mind you, but honestly, friends like that I've been friends with since like middle school, high school, or anything like that. Surprisingly enough, no, kind of fell off from that kind of thing. And
I mean, that 100% makes sense.
Well, right, yeah, but at the same time, like, I've never actually stopped to consider maybe like trying to touch base with them again or something. But then again, they probably have their own lives too, so.
Of course. Yeah, the other thing was changing friend groups. Which is like, the other thing about this, like how she had changed all of her whole life and all of her friends and stopped hanging out with other people, which she should have or could have just hung out with people like Biana still. The friend group we have currently, I have through, let's see, originally obviously it was through the big D&D group back in, I think, probably like 2010 or so, I think, maybe, but we were still in college.
Oh, are you talking?
Yeah.
Oh, you said still in college. Never
mind.
Yeah.
Beforehand. No, actually, when did you, the one that you came in with?
You ready?
No, I think
you ready for this?
Yeah.
That was the 6-person group that Bo was DMing, and that was when we were doing 4th edition.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when that was because I remember I graduated college 2013. But
it must have been shortly after that or something.
Yeah, because the group that I met, the how I met you was through Chris. Chris, I also knew all throughout, even though he went to a different school than us. I knew Chris through Ed, and there was like a big group of like 9 people that we tried to do a D&D game with that got completely off the rails, and like everyone left besides me, Chris, and Ed. And then you came in, and then obviously Tara and Kaylee you joined the friend group, and so this huge new friend group that I have. And then I think the last time we've hung out like for D&D specifically was back in 2019 because I remember COVID kicked all of our asses when Book World ended that D&D game.
Yeah.
So that was also about 6 years ago. But yeah, still changing friend groups and people you still communicate. It's a crazy thing. Also now we have as of this recording we have it planned. But it's not going to be for months from now, probably. Another D&D game with a couple of people still from the group because we still are in communication, and we've been friends for years.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Need to correct you. Oh, what kind of game?
Oh yeah, you're right. Pathfinder now this time.
Yeah, we're doing a Pathfinder 2 game this time.
It's a fun way to keep friend groups with introverted people.
It's true. It's true. And those who have much busy schedules and can't really leave their house, or friends who still are in that same like group, but also live like almost 3 hours away.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, either way, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I played Pathfinder. I don't fucking remember shit.
It's a weird system, but we'll focus more on that when we have time to. The other thing I mentioned, half jokingly, half seriously, do you think that the stuff with Biana and Lorraine was coded at all, or just a coincidence of just talking about friendship?
This was when was this this show? What year?
This would have been 2002, I believe.
2002. I never really thought about it, but at the same time, 2002, by the way, I am not an expert. I do not know this as fact. This is more of an opinion than anything. But I feel like that whole thing happened a few years after 2002, so I don't think it really was coded at all. I think it was more of a friendship thing.
Yeah, I think she explicitly, Lorraine had romantic interest in Everett, I believe.
Yeah, in Everett, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we really can't remember that kid's name ever, can we?
Everett Conquest.
Yeah, Everett. You'd like to think that his name is Everett Conquest, EverQuest, or Rhett Con or Rhett. Oh,
Brett Con.
No. I said
Brett.
I said retcon. You know, Everett. So it could be EverQuest or it could be retcon.
I thought you were making a fucking Rick and Morty reference.
No. Wait, why would I make a reference to a show I don't like?
Okay, I was saying you didn't get to the Brett Con bit.
I watched like 2 episodes and was uninterested.
Okay. No, there was a big bit where they're like dealing with these like superhero people, and like they had a villain called Brett Con, and then Morty was like, "Why isn't his name Retcon? That would make more sense." And he's like, "My name always was Retcon." And he's like, "Oh," and he has the ability to rewrite anything in reality that's happening to have always been the case. It's very funny.
That's
the actual
crazy.
bit is very cool. Because, like, your bones were always made of jelly, and then, like, the person, like, collapses, and you're like, you've always been unable to speak, and then the person's like, doesn't have a mouth anymore. It's very funny. But, anyway, that's why I thought you were referencing when you called Everett Con, or Everett Conquest.
Well, no, because it was Everett Conquest, right? So you were like, is that a dig on EverQuest? And then, I decided to be stupid and be like, or it could be, like, something that wasn't going to make sense, Instead of taking the Ever and the Quest, I was going to take the Ret and the... And I'm like, oh, that actually made more sense, and I don't like that. Retcon.
Yeah.
But speaking of the long distance, the whole friend thing that you talked about, we should probably get to the next episode, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's get to episode 8.
Ingrid Third. Public Enemy
number 1.
Act 1. First things third.
Great pun.
Of course.
Fillmore is writing his old partner Wayne, who we heard left at the beginning of the season. He gets a letter explaining what's happening while Wayne is out in Tennessee. They talk about the show, his last day of school, back when he's leaving. We see Fillmore gives him a guidebook to the safety patrol guidelines, and he talks about how his new school is one of the best in the nation. They have one of the most famous safety patrol groups, I guess, in the nation. He also gives him his old sash. We cut to the first day of school, and it follows Ingrid, as she is everyone seems very wary of her. She seems kind of be avoiding her or giving her weird sidelong looks. And then suddenly, Sherry Shotwell hops out of her locker, which is how long you've been hiding in there for, pops out and welcomes her. She explains, like, "Hey, why is everyone being so weird to me?" He's like, "Well, let's see, you're new, you dress weird, and you're really, really smart, so that's why you're going to be outcast." This is when we cut and we see that the patrol office, all the other officers are making fun of Fillmore for being a lone wolf and being on his own once again. O'Farrell says that, "Hey, man, you're going to need a new partner eventually, right? I'll be your partner." He's like, no way, no new partners.
So, speaking of partners, as he's walking in, Vallejo calls him in and is like, "Hey, meet your new partners." I forget their names.
We meet, let's see, I wrote his weird ass name, Brad Parnassus, and his attaché, Voetgraten. Voetgraten.
And mind you, what was the last name of the first one?
Parnassus?
Yeah, thank you. Parnassus is like blonde, very distinguished, very highbrow kind of person, and then his attaché is like, we're talking, if you have seen the stereotype of big dumb henchman, that this guy fills the bill. Like, even to the point where they even, like, the animators even animated a lazy eye on this guy.
And he has a what's it called, bowl cut hair.
Bowl cut hair. His head is like weirdly shaped, and he's like
henchman
he's very obtuse, and and of course Fillmore's like, "Nah, I work alone. I'm not going to." And Vallejo's like, "One word. Say one more word, and I will put you on suspension." And literally, and Fillmore, like, leaves in a huff, slams the door. Every single picture frame in the office falls and cracks, and we get the iconic Vallejo, Fillmore.
Ingrid is walking down the hallway and gets picked up by Principal Folsom, who says, "Ingrid, I like you. You should smile more. You should wear something yellow too." It says that we're going to introduce you to the school in a gigantic ceremony. And like this is like just to expose your intelligence to to the entire school and like to let them all know how smart you are and how glad we are to having you here. As she's like goes up to like okay, she's introduced in this gigantic awkward ass ceremony in the auditorium, and then suddenly everyone starts like throwing semi-rigid ping pong balls at her head
Yeah,
as a fucking ritual.
because apparently this school, because how did the principal say this? Oh yeah, everyone knows that the new kid always has the hardest time here, right? So rather than having everyone like bully you and haze you and everything as you're going along, we decided when we introduce a new kid just to have everyone get it out of their system. And for the next 120 seconds, you're gonna sit there and take it. So everyone for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, freaking throws these rigid styrofoam ping pong balls at her. And her first words after all of this happens...
Oh wait, I was saying before that we do see a couple of actual reoccurring characters in the audience, like a couple of like the actual students we've seen in future episodes and past episodes. The cheerwoman Biana from the last episode is also in the audience, as well as the kid who freaked out about having to take the Sati 9 again is also there.
But yeah. And of course, there might be a few others that we didn't see, but everyone's doing this. And after all this happens, Ingrid goes up to the mic to like say something, and all of a sudden, all she says is, "This school stinks," and storms off.
Yeah, and then we get a nice little welcome, Ingrid. Again from
this is the most gentle
welcome, Ingrid. Oh god. This is when we hit
Act 2. Third strike.
She's out. Fillmore's looking at a photo of Wayne just as Parnassus arrives and starts saying, "Hey, Parnassus, you're late." They're like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm one of the smartest. I thought you were one of the smartest kids in the school. Why would you waste time joining the safety patrol?" Fillmore says, "I know exactly your type, Parnassus. You're just here to make it look good on your college essay. You just wanted a little bit extracurricular. You don't really care about, the safety patrol or anything like that." And Parnassus is just like, "Well, of course, yes. I want my record to look good so I can get into the best schools, obviously."
And as that happens, we hear something going on, a ruckus outside the office. And when they walk out, it is like caked in a green cloud. And we find out that someone set off a stink bomb. And Parnassus is like, "Oh, I can't take this. I'm going to, Literally, he and the attaché walk into the office and close the door. Fillmore gets a hanky over his nose and starts looking around. Sees, like, I don't know if this is a reoccurring character or not, but sees a kid, like, just like, "It's so bad in here." He's just like,
the kid's like weirdly like placid. He's just like, "I was just going to my locker, and then this horrible smell." It was very bizarre.
Yeah, right. And of course, you put your as if it were like legitimate gas. Just put your shirt over your nose and head for an exit now.
Yeah, as he continues to rescue students, the next day Folsom thanks him for saving at least 12 different students. They say it smelled like pickled fish guts put through a sewage treatment plant. Parnassus comes in and says, "I have a suspect. It's Ingrid." And he's like, "Okay, do you have any actual evidence of that, or are you just pointing fingers at her?" And the only evidence, she said the school stinks, and also she has disciplinary problems at her old school. I called around and got them, which is, he's just like, "Okay, well, that's a shitty thing to do, Parnassus, but that's not really a specific evidence that she did anything. You're just looking into her past and judging her." Then Fillmore and Parnassus decide to go to the bank, and they see that the ATM cameras actually show that Ingrid was not there at the school, she was like outside at the time, nowhere near the school where the bomb went off. And also the guard knows, even the security guard at the bank knows Wayne and Fillmore, and like, "Hey, sorry to hear Wayne left." Just like,
he's just like, I like how Fillmore once again got to go to get high security footage that is not supposed to be anyone other than the security guard is supposed to see this, and all we get is a Fillmore. I owe you one, so this is the least I could do. I'm like, what does this Fillmore kid know?
I mean, literally everybody and everything.
But then
at the school, they go back to the school.
Yep, they go back to the school, and he's got the evidence that Ingrid didn't do it. As he walks into like the other end of like the interrogating room, like with the double-sided mirror or whatever, the other side of window, Folsom's there, and she's like, shh, and all of a sudden, thank you out there, police officer speeding. Sorry. I don't know if you heard, but there was a lot a lot of sirens going over there. So anyway, sorry for those who are wearing headphones. And as he walks in, getting ready to give the evidence back, we hear Ingrid, yes, I did it. I did the stink bomb. And then we cut to her being in an all white, like a sanitized, like sanitation, like white room, and all there is in bold letters painted on the front of the room is think about what you've done.
What you've done. It's insane. It was like a torture chamber.
Ugh,
it's crazy.
Seriously.
Fillmore confronts Ingrid, and he's like, why would you say you've been that? Like, why would you say you did that? It's insane. He talks about how he spent half of the last year in this very room until he was saved by Wayne and the safety patrol. She says that she wants to get expelled because she hates this school. Also, she randomly mentions a Fred Durst eggplant for some reason.
Yeah, Fred Durst eggplant. I mean, come on. Haven't you had a Fred Durst eggplant?
Yeah. He says he's busting his ass to prove that she's innocent, and all she gives him is a messed up eggplant. She says she waited for someone to be nice to her at some point before 2:00, besides the greeting woman. And Fillmore says, hey, man, I was too busy trying to save your butt, so I couldn't be nice to you before then, but I would have been. He introduces himself finally, formally, and then they have a little handshake.
And then
Ingrid is then released in his custody.
Yep.
Yeah.
As they go to the scene of the crime, where you see like a big old like biohazard sign and a do not cross with like residue of the stink bomb. Parnassus is there as well, and he's like, what is she doing here? And he's like, look, you know as well as I do she didn't do it. Clearly, we have the footage right here. So we're gonna she's in my care, my custody, and so we're gonna actually find out who did this. And Parnassus is like, I see. I must apologize then to you, Ingrid, because I should actually do everything that I can. We found out that I think it was Ingrid or someone said the ingredients came from some kind of like wacky prank shop, whatever. And
it is the bomb was made of liquid stank mixed with stink powder. Both are made by Yuxco.
That's what it was, Yuxco. I forgot. You gotta have a weird name in this.
Parnassus again mentions that he doesn't trust Ingrid because of her record, and Fillmore says that his record is the exact same. You're just being prejudiced, literally prejudging somebody. And this is when they decide that they're going to hit all the local joke shops to try to find the source of this stuff. They go through some files, and while she's quickly flipping through all of them at a speed, crazy speed, he's like, "Are you actually reading any of those?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, photographic memory, it's fine." And then she points out okay, well this and this and this makes sense. Parnassus then suddenly returns with Lemmy's bulk prank supplies, saying that they may have actually ID'd her, and he says that she may actually be behind this. Someone matching her description bought enough gear for 2 stink bombs, and he says he retracts his apology from earlier that day. Fillmore asks Ingrid what's going on. She again tries to take the blame on herself. Parnassus and his henchmen leave, and she kind of leaves after them. And we also see that she grabs one of the officer's sashes on her way out.
And thus, we get to Act 3. The third act. Wow. Wow. And then we see that I almost called him Cornelius because we always call him by his first name. We see
Of
Fillmore
course,
goes
yeah,
to like one of the
exclusively.
suppliers of Yucksville or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
he's like, the guy's like, I don't recall anything except for like actually describes Ingrid. Would you like some hot pepper gum? I'm like,
He
what?
says, there's something else I want to talk about, but there was a girl fitting her description that was, as he's like about to talk to the guy, he's like, oh yeah, put me down for a case of that gum. He sees that a girl fitting Ingrid's description flees the store just then. Fillmore chases her, but falls into
Is
some.
tripped is
Did you see
tripped
the
by a
boxes?
random is tripped by like a random foot, and he falls into a box, a bunch of boxes from the Cliche Box Company.
Yeah. Cliche box go.
The Cliche Box Co. I freaking love it. So of course, lost whoever the perp was, but notices that there's a button for what was it? It was like Dancy something or
Dancy
other.
lads.
Thank you,
Dancy lads.
Dancy lads, yeah. And of course, as in Ingrid's house, as she's reading David Copperfield and drinking soy. It literally, it's milk, and it's literally just soy with an exclamation point.
Funny. He says that he saw her there, but she says, "Did you actually see my face?" Folsom said she's smart, and she said this is an obvious setup. Fillmore points out. I forgot something. Anyway, I'll talk about it later. Fillmore points out that Parnassus was previously the smartest student in school, and he may be the one behind all of this. He was late on the first day of safety patrol, exactly right before the bombs went off, and he also, went around and got her records and everything like that. He's joining the patrol squad just to cover all this up, he believes. He says that Ingrid's like, hey, why'd you take his sash? She's like, oh, I took it because I wanted to put a voodoo hex on Parnassus because he's an asshole.
But who'd have thought that it would actually be useful? She finds like residue of like the stink powder, and she's like, all right, moment of truth. If this starts to reek when I add the stink juice or whatever,
liquid stink.
Yeah, the liquid stink, then we got our perp. Puts a drop in, stinks to high hells, and they're like, yep, we got our perp.
Yeah, they go to Parnassus' house, and they see his sisters there. She says that she's missing her Dancy Lad's pin and her black dress from earlier in the day. She says that Parnassus just left about 10 minutes ago with 2 gigantic bags of flour for making bagels or something. And then, of course, as a Bagelmeister myself, I know that he would need much more than that. So,
oh yeah, absolutely,
he's up to no good. Flour, water, salt, malt, and yeast. That's what bagels are made of, and he does not have those things with him. He's up to something no good.
Oh, and she also mentions that Parnassus has a key to the school for chess club.
Yep. They flee to the school, and while they get there and it's locked, we see that she decides to pick the lock from her delinquent past, as we mentioned. They see Parnassus in drag, and he's like, I must be going, as he pretends to be a girl, even though he's obviously just like Ingrid. Ingrid goes into a giant tire display, and she manages to capture Parnassus. Parnassus tells they're like in a gigantic tire, like a play set thing.
Yeah,
they did the same weird thing, a tangent in the middle of the episode. Did you watch Recess?
I know what you're talking about from Recess.
Yeah, they had the same weird giant tire setup in there too. I've never seen this in the schools I went to, but Parnassus confronts her inside the tire playset and tells her his whole plan. He's going to get rid of her so he can be the #1 student again. And he says it's going to be easy because you are different. She then knocks both the henchman and Parnassus down and flees back outside the tire thing. The henchman starts to pursue her, but then he ends up getting stuck. Fillmore, in the meanwhile, manages to capture Parnassus and says, Parnassus, you're done. Just as he decides to throw the gigantic powder onto the liquid stank just at the base of this weird thing and sets off the enormous bomb.
Yep. And as
Ingrid
Ingrid is stuck with what's his name?
Woodgraden.
Yeah, and as he's still stuck in the
Yeah, that guy.
tires, yeah, that guy. As he's still stuck in the tires, and and as he's trying to get out, Ingrid helps him out, and they get out of there
Just
before the
last second
stank.
before the explosion hits. Yeah.
And so now with a bunch of evidence against Parnassus, Fillmore and Ingrid walk into Folsom's office, where we hear the attaché is
Woodrod.
admitting to the crime.
Yeah. Fillmore shows Folsom all the evidence that show points to Parnassus, but she says she doesn't care due to Parnassus's great reputation.
Yeah,
Folsom then apologizes to Ingrid, and they kind of just like, "Are you serious?" As they go or they leave and go back to the patrol office. She says that she's actually kind of glad that she stuck around. Also, during the Folsom meeting, Fillmore points out that Parnassus still is wearing the earring in the middle of the meeting. Parnassus says that he is resigning from the safety patrol, but he looks forward to dueling with Fillmore in the future, and he'll mark this one up as a draw.
and
Fillmore's
as
like,
Fillmore's like, you know what? I hate to admit it, but you are a good nemesis. You're really good at this stuff, so I look forward to booking you eventually. And of course, Parnassus leaves. And before that, he's like, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?" Oh, I would. Yes, that would be refreshing. They start to leave, and Parnassus chews on the gum, which happens to be the hot pepper gum. He's like, "I need water." Fillmore literally drinking water right in front of him, and he runs out
yep.
because he's like, "It's too hot. I need water." And as he runs out, everyone on the safety committee is like, "Hey, Fillmore, relax. You'll get him eventually. Sure you may have lost this battle, but you still beat him nonetheless. So I guess you're going back
Yeah.
to your lone wolf ways." And he's like, "Actually, about that." Literally walks over to Vallejo and says, "Hey, I don't want to be a lone wolf no more. So can I get a partner?" Vallejo's like, "You got someone in mind?" And then we cut to Folsom in like another big old like assembly kind of thing, and
Yeah.
introducing Ingrid Third as the newest safety patrol member. And they're all like cheering. She gets her sash and everything. Someone throws another one of those wiffle balls, and she just catches it and is like, "Nope, not this time."
And throws it back at the kid.
Yep.
And this is when he cuts back to the framing device of Wayne in Tennessee, finishing up the letter and just saying like, "Hey man, I got a new partner and things are going well. I hope to see you sometime soon." As we see that Wayne also has a new female partner as well in the Tennessee office. And that is where the episode ends.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Ugh. Now, have you ever been somewhere that's been stink bombed?
Surprisingly enough, no, I have not.
Okay.
Have you?
Have you ever lit a stink bomb before? Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Outside I did, but it was one of the really, really small ones.
Okay, yeah, no, not like a big, like actual, like destructive one or anything.
Correct.
Yeah, someone let off stink bombs in the school at some point. I remember that happened at one point as a prank in the school once. I think we did like exit the school and then we went back in and it was fine. They never found out who did it, of course, because it's too impossible to detect that shit.
Right.
But other than related to that, personally wise, just a couple weeks ago, my fucking dog Bear got skunked for the second time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Have you ever dealt with a skunked dog before?
Fortunately, I have not yet, and I hope never
Okay.
to.
I would say, like, at work at the animal hospital I work at, we get calls, especially in the summer, literally, like, every other day. We have to explain to them that, no, it's not harmful. The eye reddening, spitting up, and vomiting are all completely normal reactions. It's nothing to freak out about. It smells very different than, like, when you see, like, a skunk hit on the road or whatever. Like, an actual upfront sprayed animal smells a lot more like gasoline than actually like what you think the skunk smells like when you're driving past it in your car. It's very weird. It's incredibly prevalent. It stays for a very, very long time. We tell the people about the solution: the hydrogen peroxide, Dawn dish soap, and baking soda, like a paste, and you put that on for about like 5-10 minutes, and then you rinse that off. Yeah, it's like It's insanely annoying, and like 2 weeks later, he still has like if you put your like nose up to his head, he still has like a slight smell. It's insanely annoying. Our garage stinks because we had to clean him in the garage because we couldn't bring him in the house. It was a whole fucking annoying, traumatic situation. Yeah, the whole house stunk for like a week. It's just, it's a nightmare. That's probably one of the worst things I've ever smelled, probably wise. Yeah, I don't think I've ever smelled like, old rotten food or anything like that. Did your school do any pranks or anything like that? Like in like the senior prank time or anything?
Our senior prank was the dumbest thing ever.
Hmm.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah, what?
So, some douche nozzle decided to release like 42 mice, like the white mice.
Jesus, that's awful.
Yeah, it was compared to like what they did the year before that and the year after that. It was really tame. Oh no, I'm sorry. There was another senior prank. Only it was one of those pranks that went too far. And it wasn't the mice either. So what happened is two douche nozzles who are not the same as the one who did the mice, mind you, decided to go down all the freshman lockers because the freshman lockers, unless you buy were the only ones where you had to buy your own lock, or else you couldn't actually, or you could just have anyone go in them, right? Because from sophomore up, you had like the lockers with the locks on them. They decided to go down every single freshman locker, empty out every single solitary item, and dump cooking oil down the halls, on their stuff, everything.
That's insanely terrible.
No. It gets better, though. Because you're right.
Oh, boy.
That's awful. And the next day, I literally walked into school to the sound of wailing. So, funny thing about doing things after school. Once in a while, there will be a teacher who is staying over a little late, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these kids are not necessarily the most athletic, but one of them can run and the other one's a fat kid, right? So he couldn't run worth shit. So the girls' track coach, who is a very athletic man, happened to be there, happened to hear what was going on, and happened to catch them both. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so the other one, like one of them got away, like the one who could actually run, but the fat kid, he instantly got caught. Because again, the girls' track coach, who was actually very athletic, caught up to him. And needless to say, they both they didn't get expelled because it was close to the end of the school year. But they did not get their diplomas, along with, I think they got quite a hefty fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jeez, that sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we really didn't have any senior prank, to be honest.
Oh, nice. I was saying, ours, I think they released chickens in the school, and another thing, I think they brought like water guns or something like that and sprayed a bunch of people and shit. So it was like 3 chickens, I think, and then another one was like just like regular, like I think they may have put something stupid in the water, but nothing like disgusting or bad. So they were pretty tame, fortunately, because no one wanted to get fucking expelled.
see, you know what you should have done? You should have done the pig thing, right? Where you have three chickens, right? And you number them 1, 2, and 4.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, and 4. Yeah. I think they might have done that because that's a bit that everyone does. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Actually, you know what? We're gonna continue on, but after the recording, I'll tell you about the year after. Theirs was actually a really good freaking senior prank.
Oh, okay. I was another thing. You said your dad was a teacher, so I'm guessing you didn't go to you didn't switch schools or anything like that, like in the middle of the year, or
I was born, raised, and stayed straight up in Upper friggin' Sandusky.
I was gonna say I moved to Ohio in 2nd grade, and been here ever since, and I never changed schools after that, so that was a very easy transition for me. And I think it was at the beginning of the year too, so it was extra fucking easy. So yeah, I was a steady, regular ass school for the majority of the school time, which is very fucking fortunate because I've seen tons of new kids come in and people leave, and I think that's an incredibly annoying and like traumatizing ass situation that I could not imagine having to deal with. That would suck so fucking bad.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah. But, alright, so did you want to talk about the other prank, or did you want to wrap up the last episode?
Oh, like I said, off recording, I'll tell you about the other one.
Okay. Well, that's going to be bad for the listeners. You might as well tell it.
And then I'll save it for the ending, like for the end, after we're done with the next episode. So speaking of which, the last episode of this recording, season 1, episode 9.
Yep.
A cold day at
X.
Act 1. The edge of
winter. O'Farrell and Fillmore are on a stakeout. O'Farrell goes on and on about how, hey, you can never really see your own butt. And he's just like, O'Farrell, shut the hell up. Like, no, man, it's like a Zen riddle. You can't ever see your own butt. You can see pictures of it, but it's not really your own butt. Hey, Fillmore, can I ask you a question? And he says, okay, Toys No Cars are doing the mission. Shut up. It's happening. It's going down. We see a Toy Snow Car going up to a kid and asking him to put his baseball card collection in there to get his retainer back. And then as it goes off, Ingrid tries to intercept it with her fighting robot that was mentioned a couple of episodes ago. As the robot flips the truck and takes it down, Fillmore and O'Farrell chase on foot the actual culprit. And they find them. It is a kid who's is hiding out in this little thing controlling the tractor. They give the kid his retainer back, and then they go and question the actual person. Back in the safety patrol office, O'Farrell is being yelled at by Tahama because she's pissed that he asked her to take a picture of his butt. Ingrid is then seen putting her robot into its charging station, and they get a call, or she gets a call from her sister saying that her dad is sick and that she needs to come home to take care of him.
Yep, and she's like, yep, I will. Apparently, he has a head cold, but his head colds get so bad that he gets really wibbly wobbly in the brain.
Yeah, really loopy. The extortionist kid asks for some quid pro quo. He tells them about a huge algebra test going down, Mrs. Cornwall's algebra test, a notoriously difficult one coming up. And there are plans for some kids to attempt to steal it. So if this proves to be true, this kid will get off for trying to extort this guy's retainer from him.
Well, no, he's going to get a lesser sentence.
Yeah, lesser sentence.
Because it's like 3 months of detention, and he's like, if you lessen the burden, I'll give you some info. And so, who was the teacher's name?
Mrs. Cornwall.
Yep. And then we cut to Mrs. Cornwall's office classroom where she's teaching. Yeah, where she's teaching algebra, and how if 2 + x = 5, x is always 3, no matter what. And she
goes on about the inevitability and the certainty of math over all things in reality. Like math will always be correct, and that's how it always is going to be.
Right.
We see a number of students cop the officers coming into the classroom as they kind of look over their shoulders. Fillmore, at the middle of class, talks to her for a second. Or as class, the bell rings and the class is about to get let out, but Fillmore stops and talks to her and says, "Hey, there's a rumor going around that a small group of students are actually planning to steal the answers to the test." This is when she goes back to the front of the classroom and says, "Excuse me, students, before you leave," and she holds up the test results. "These are going to be the answers for the entirety of the test, and I'm going to leave them unlocked in my drawer over the night, so you can come by any time to get them if you want." Fillmore's like, what the hell is she doing?
Yeah, and she even mentions that her classroom door is going to be unlocked as well.
Yep, the test
so
is
as
unlocked.
The kids start leaving, Fillmore's like, she's like, "Any questions?" All right. Then she as all the students are leaving, Fillmore's like, "Yeah, I got a question." And she's like, "Let me guess. You're wondering why I said all of that stuff." And Ingrid's like, yeah, that might have crossed our mind. And as she's explaining that, she's talking about the honor system that is in
The
the
school's honor code.
yeah, the school's honor code, which
From when she was a kid.
yeah, like what year was it exactly? 53, wasn't it?
56.
56. That's what it was. Yeah. And she's holding up like the actual school handbook from 56. As we're doing that, like, she's talking about it. A kid randomly like gives a look and then starts walking past. And
she says all students must conduct their affairs with honor and integrity. And she says that she trusts all of her students. Fillmore says that it's unfair to the actual honest students that she's just going to trust all the dishonest ones. But she says that she trusts them all. He says it's not 1956 anymore. And she says in this classroom it'll always be.
And thus, as they're staking,
Ingrid decide to stake out the class.
And as they do, she
leaves the class wide open.
Yep. And Ingrid gets a call from Vallejo, saying that her dad is calling about, is it feed a cold, starve a fever, or is it feed a cold, starve, or is it like starve a cold, feed a fever? And she's like, I gotta go. He's like, don't worry, I got this. And immediately as she leaves, we see 4 kids walking up.
Yep, right away a group of kids arrives with obvious intent to steal the test. We meet the first kid. The leader of the group points out the first kid, Carter Burns. He's a rich kid, and he needs a B average on the test or no Aspen ski trip for him.
Oh, dumb.
We then see Brenda Bronson, a girl in a wheelchair, and she says that she needs it for the sculling team.
No.
And Mitch Cragmont needs to pass it to keep his video gaming privileges.
Oh, God.
The leader of the group, he says, okay, and what's your excuse for trying to do this bullshit? The leader says, maybe I just don't want to study. You just need to get out of our ways, officer. Just as they are threatening Fillmore and beginning to circle around him, the teacher arrives just in time. Fillmore then, as they disperse, Fillmore kind of thanks her, and then she kind of just pulls off and as if nothing happened. Fillmore calls his mother from the school and says that he's going to sleep at the school overnight, and he has permission. Vallejo says that this shouldn't be his problem just because some teacher wants to do this and test her students or whatever. This shouldn't be your responsibility. Just as he does that, Ingrid calls him and just saying, hey, just making sure you're doing all right. We see her and we see her sister for the first time. And we see that they are made the father some zinc fortified albondigas soup.
Which, by the way, I like how Ingrid's sister has a different hairstyle, but has the same long black with like a weird white stripe going through it.
Yeah, the
same green eyes. Hair. Literally looks exactly the same as Ingrid, only different hairstyle, different clothes, and is taller.
Yeah. The albondigas soup, I had looked it up, and it's some kind of like Mexican meatball soup. It's like a soup with like a giant meatball in it with a Mexican origin.
Ooh, that sounds good, actually.
Fillmore, I looked at it, it looks good. Fillmore is reading about the code of conduct in the school to Ingrid over the phone that Mrs. Cornwall had, and she says she wishes that she was there to back him up. As the day ends and the next day arises, a school bell goes off, and we look outside and we see that the school and the entire town has been snowed in. He's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Just then, though, Fillmore looks outside and he sees that same gang coming back up to the school.
And thus we get to
Act 2.
White Squall
at sunrise. The gang rush into the class, and they see that it's completely empty and that the test is actually gone.
They also notice that there's a bedroll and a flashlight in there as well. And of course, the leader of these kids is like, "Yeah, I know it. It's Fillmore." So obviously, he has the test scores. And Gamer Kid is like, "What are we gonna do?" And he's like, "Relax. because it's a snow day, he's not going to be leaving anytime soon. Neither are the test results. All we got to do is find him.
And this is when Fillmore comes over the loudspeakers and tells them that there's no way that they're going to be able to beat him. They decide that they're going to chase him around the school as they begin to try to find out where he is. They end up in the school botany club. As they're searching around, the rich kid, Carter, says, "Why don't we simply pay the man off?" And he says, like, the leader, one of the best lines that sticks out to me the most in the show, the leader says, "This guy just spent a whole night in the school to make sure we didn't steal that test. Does that sound like somebody you'll be able to bribe?"
I mean, let's be honest, that is a good point.
Fillmore's the most integral person ever.
So they spread out, they search for him.
Corn stalks.
Yep, they go through all the corn stalks and everything, and
Fillmore keeps outmaneuvering them.
Yep, outmaneuvering and everything, but they do hear him like every once in a while, and they get to the succulents. They get to the succulents, and Fillmore from under a table as they're all still searching for him. He's like, "What I don't understand is why are you wasting your time trying to get these test scores when you could be at home?" Actually studying. And of course the leader kid is like, save it for the church, my gosh.
Yeah, and also we get another fun line where the kid's like, the rich kid's like, "I must say, are we hunting him or is he hunting us?"
yeah, we get some funny stuff.
As they continue that, he calls Ingrid once again and tells her that he seems to be trapped. But she says, "I'm going to go to the school website and I'm going to find, a map of the school to try to help you out of the situation." She says that he needs to aim for the school's air ducts. He jumps into the vents and he ends up in the school's old archives. He finds a photo of the teacher when she was a student back in the 1956
Actually, sorry. He picks up a school book, a yearbook from 1955, the year before she got the other handbook.
Okay, yeah.
But he's like, wow, and it literally above her name, it says most honorable.
Most honorable. Yep. The gang then begins to go to the safety patrol office, and they're actually tearing up the actual office, looking for stuff. The rich kid Carter finds like, "Oh my God, look at this! There's a bunch of pictures of this kid's butt." As he finds Alvarez's.
Yeah, you actually get to see like one of the pictures, and it's literally him like trying to take a picture of his own butt, and he's like, "We have no way of finding him, do we?" And then we find out that they find all of the walkie-talkies.
Yep. And they begin to look through the tuning. They find Fillmore, and they hear him talking with Ingrid. He's talking to her about Miss Cornwall. They find out the story was she was taking a test in the school by herself, and the teacher had actually left the entire answer sheet in the schoolroom on the desk. She ended up only getting a C on the test. As he's like, "Oh, that's incredible. She really is very honorable." We learned that Ingrid's family is sick because now her sister is also contagious with the illness, so she's also out. And now Ingrid's really busy taking care of both of those family members. He says, "All right, well, you take care of them, Ingrid. I'm going to hit the vending machines," as we see the gang overhearing this part of the conversation.
Yep.
As he goes there and is trying to smooth out $1 for the vending machines, we see the gang actually catch him, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on, Fillmore?" And the leader tells Ingrid that they have Fillmore now.
And thus we get to
Act 3.
Echoes of Honor. We see they have locked Fillmore in the interrogation room, and I forget who the lady in the wheelchair is, but she's like, "Look, we've searched all over. He doesn't have it on him." And the main guy is like, "Okay, that means it's somewhere around here. So we have to it's all a matter of time now." Looks at the gamer kid and is like, "You get to stay here and watch him. We're gonna go." And he's like, "Wait, what? Me all alone? What? I don't want to do that." And he's like, "Nah, you're doing it." And Ingrid is like pacing around, worried about Fillmore. And then, as she looks over at her computer desk, she sees a thing for a Robo Gladiator tournament, and then she remembers. So she she goes onto her computer and activates an online control mechanism for her robot, which, by the
Yep.
way, for 2002 is extremely high tech. Actually,
Yeah,
even
that's
for today,
incredible.
that's kind of
A
high
remote,
tech.
yeah, a remote control from your laptop robot's insane.
Yeah. And then of course she is like, sneaking around a little bit with the robot as the kid's like, oh, he thinks he's so great, ordering me
He's
around.
talking to the fit to Fillmore's fish, I believe, right?
Yes, he is. He's like, I wish I had a fish to talk my problems to. Yeah. The leader of our group was so great. He thinks he's so hot and so good at video games just because he found a secret level before me. And then of course he turns around and sees Ingrid's robot, and like he freaks out and runs while she uses the robot to knock over a chair, and he is now freed.
Yep, Fillmore is free as he flees to the cafeteria. The gamer kid goes to the rest of the gang and tells them that, hey, he escaped. I don't know where the hell he went. They begin to chase Fillmore as he flees outside. He is sledding on a lunch tray until he is free and says, hey, Ingrid, I'm going to head home for the night. They're not going to find the test. Don't worry. Just then, he gets a call, and the leader says that he has his fish, Miles, from the very first episode, from the other episode, and now he's a hostage. Fillmore has no choice but to go back and get the test for them, and we find that it is actually inside the teacher's yearbook. This is when finally we learn that the leader's name is George. The rest of the gang are feeling a little bit hesitant about holding a goddamn fish life hostage for for this damn test. This is getting out of hand.
But we also find out, because it's like, it's the whole hostage situation, like
They go to the
exchange
bridge.
thing.
Yeah,
And we find out he's like,
exchange.
listen, I still don't know your reason behind it. And he's like, fine, I'll tell you. I've been studying every day. I do all of my homework. I do everything. And you want to know what my average in this class is? A C. I shouldn't be having a C. And, Fillmore's like, yeah, but it's an honest C. You don't really need to have these answers. You just at least back, like, in the future when we, when we're all just black and white on a page, at least you would have known you had an honest C. And, the kid's like, I care about the now. Hand it over. And so
as they begin the exchange, the gamer kid has the fish bowl, and Fillmore has the answers to the test. The gamer kid trips, and the fish bowl breaks on the actual bridge. Fillmore tosses the sheets into the river and dives to save his fish. They say that they have like a couple of seconds before he dies, and they need to get him back into a bowl or some water, something like that, to save him. As Fillmore's trying to save the fish, the rest of the gang realize that they've gone too far, and they decide to help Fillmore rescue Miles. Even George, who sees the test results and is hesitant to go with them, he's like, he decides to leave them, and they fall into the lake and get destroyed as he decides to help him. After they finally save Miles, the gang is set to leave for the night, but Fillmore turns and says, actually, you know what? I was lying about having that. The test results were not in that piece of paper that I was going to give you guys. This is the real test results. He shows them the actual answers to the test. As he puts it down on the sheet and says he's going to leave, the gang decides that they're just going to go home and study at the rich kid's house with some great snacks and shit like that. Fillmore puts the test answers back where they're supposed to be, calls Ingrid, and learns that she is also now sick. But she also feels bad for not being there to back him up on this insane mission that he just had. The teacher arrives and is glad to see that the test was not stolen. She says, see, Fillmore, you always have to believe in people. She asks if he learned anything on his day in school without any teachers, and he says, yeah, I realized that the value of X remains constant. Meow! That's a big guitar riff
yeah!
to the sunset. Yeah!
Sorry.
Yeah, fucking great bit. I absolutely... this is one of my favorite episodes of the show, I think, because it's such a fun, crazy-ass episode. But before we get into the actual episodes, I wanted to say, because before we forgot to say, In the first one, the one with Dwapi, did you manage to figure out what was going on or who was behind it at any time?
So, funny story. That one was an interesting case because I honestly thought it was Lorraine. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, it's never like the first person. But then, son of a gun, I was right, but not quite.
Yeah.
But not quite.
Yeah, they tricked you.
It did, yeah. It bamboozled me, and after we got bamboozled, I'm like, oh, it's the cheerleader, isn't it? And son of a gun, it was. The what about you? Did you like immediately catch on, or?
Back when I first watched the episode, my mind immediately went to the mom, who was kind of like the middle pseudo target for the thing. Because I was like, okay, well, yeah, it's not going to be Lorraine because that seems like an obvious setup, and she seems as though she's directly benefiting from it. But the mom is also pretty happy, so I bet she's doing this for him to have a real friend. And then that was her motivation, but she was not actually behind it. She just was the crowbar part of it, and that's all she was involved with.
Right, yeah.
So, and then that ended up being actual Brianna was a surprise to me.
So in the second
one
episode,
with Parnassus, yeah,
surprisingly enough, they kind of made it obvious from the beginning, but
yeah, there's no other like culprits besides Parnassus. I know,
but what was really hilarious was in the scene, because if you notice, in the scene where he's chasing quote unquote Ingrid out of the prank shop, you notice that because Ingrid has like paler skin, like pale, almost white skin. And while the Ingrid, like quote unquote, is running down the street, the skin tone was much darker.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I know you're doing that on purpose, but like, come on, we all know who it is. He literally has a lackey now.
Yeah, literally.
And you can't really say, do you know who done it in the third episode, because it wasn't a who done it. It was a how catch 'em.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you ever seen the movie Assault on Precinct 13?
Nope.
Okay. Did you watch Supernatural, the show?
God. Look, you're going to show my age here because I remember seeing a few episodes of it, but no, I not as religiously as everyone else.
Okay. And you didn't watch Netflix Punisher?
I don't have Netflix, so no. I haven't.
I mean, it would have been like 6 or 7 years ago.
Well, either way, the answer is still no.
Okay. Have you seen Die Hard?
The first Die Hard?
Yeah.
The classic Die Hard?
Yeah.
The best Christmas movie of all times, according to some people?
The ultimate. Yeah, the ultimate Christmas movie.
Yes, I have seen that one, actually, yes.
Good. Have you seen the first Rambo?
Ages ago, but yes, I actually have.
Okay. Yeah, because all these things have either one person against a gang or one person sneaking around a police precinct or an office or like a building like that. Assault on Precinct 13 from the 70s is like one of the most famous examples because it's literally a huge gang of criminals are trying to like break into and kill all the police in this police station to like get a witness or something like that. It's like and a bunch of things have obviously referenced in that since that thing because the Supernatural episode is like Sam and Dean are arrested by some cops like in a small precinct and they're trying to hunt these monsters like they're always doing, but they also have to try to like conceal it but also try to explain it to these officers who are being assaulted by these crazy ass fantasy monsters while they're trying to protect the police station. And then the other one, the Punisher, has like where he's like again also captured by the cops, and all these criminals are like, oh, we're gonna get that Punisher, and obviously the Punisher needs to rescue everybody because he's the Punisher and he's like killing all these people in brutal ways, protecting this police station from these criminals. Die Hard, obviously, freaking what's his name? Alan Rickman's character.
Bruce Willis is
Hans Gruber
going through with
Hans Gruber,
with
Bruce
Hans
Willis,
Gruber, also known as
John McClane and Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
John McClane and Hans Gruber. Obviously, this whole episode was a reference to that with him sneaking around air ducts to try to escape the criminals trying to capture him in this crazy, like, cool ass heist. And then the first Rambo is all those police giving shit to Rambo, who's just a weird PTSD Vietnam vet, and then he just fucking just takes them all out by being stealthy and cool. I love this. It was more than a how catch 'em. It was more like a Fillmore actually on the back foot, no backup, trying to protect himself and outmaneuver a gang of criminals around the school when no one else is present. It's such a fun change in the dynamic that this is, like I said, it's one of my favorite episodes of all time of the show because it's such a fun ass change in the dynamic. What did you think of the episode in general?
Oh, it was a good
Or
episode.
did you think of the match?
Like, I actually liked it, and thank you once again, Fire Truck. Damn. Anyway, but yeah, it was a good episode. Like, it was refreshing to not have to like try to solve a mystery. Instead, it was literally like you said. It was like a Die Hard or a Rambo kind of situation, and it was neat to see. You know, he can hold up his own because I mean he's done it before, like a long time ago. But like, it was cool to see like Fillmore versus the gang kind of thing, and him actually having to outmaneuver them and everything like that. And yeah, it was a good time.
Hell yeah. Snow days. Do you miss those?
I'm gonna be real with you. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Because here's the thing. During COVID, right, I was never allowed to not work unless I had COVID itself because I was quote unquote essential. But during that time, there was a really bad, like really, really, really bad snow time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were like not going. We're not going around. Like a lot of different businesses were not open and were not going in, except for my fucking job. So, yeah, I miss snow days.
Yeah, I remember back when I was a little kid, before I moved here in Pennsylvania, we would get like, I remember we were talking with our friend Kaylee about it. Like, we would get like multiple feet of snow in Pennsylvania, as opposed to Cleveland snow days where it's just like pretty bad but not that bad. I remember our school, Beechwood, would close down like with any small amount of snow just because it was such a well-off school that they were really like, if people were anyway inconvenienced, they'd be like, fuck it, close the school. So we would get snowed all the damn time. It was so fun. But now I have to fucking shovel my long ass driveway to get to work every fucking winter in my car with terrible snow tires and slip and slide down a very busy street to get to fucking work every week. It sucks.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah, have you ever been? I guess you definitely have not been locked into the school with nobody there.
Hold on. Thinking. Yeah, unfortunately, you're correct.
Okay, I back when I was like working out with the wrestling team, we were at the school super fucking late. Unlike with football, we would be outside after hours, so we would not be obviously let into the school, and so we'd be outside when the school would be empty. But when I was in wrestling, when we were working out or like we would like run around the school like a track inside the school when nobody was present. We were able to just fuck around and like be stupid inside the school and we're completely empty. And I was like one of the very few times I've ever done that, and it was actually a very interesting experience, like being around the high school and everything with like nobody present, but just like when I fucking work out and like run around the place like a fucking track. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, but like I said, great episode, a fun little batch of episodes. Next time we're doing Fillmore, we're going to be wrapping up the season with a 4-episode bit, so it'll probably be a slightly longer episode. Also, we'll have some more mysteries and stuff too.
Yep. Absolutely. No. Just, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. We'll have a bunch more stuff to build up, but until then, we have some music to listen to with our next Metalocalypse recording. Any plugs, Ben?
Okay. Do I ever have plugs? But Matt,
I don't know.
I know you have plugs, so if you want to insert them here.
Of course. Yeah. Listen to old episodes of Action Toon Bros, obviously. Listen to the old episodes of Movie Garbage. I know this is going to be months from now, but I'm thinking about uploading some extra episodes up on the RSS feed, so they should probably be there months before they'll actually air in the actual episode. Obviously, Forgotten Minotaur King by the book, and then Matthew Lewis Podcast's Blue Sky, Matthew Lewis Podcast's Twitch, Matthew Lewis Podcast's YouTube, Matthew Lewis Podcast's Patreon, Matthew Lewis Podcast everywhere. Go check out my shit, reply to my stuff, follow us on everything. Tons more stuff coming, obviously. More episodes of this. We're wrapping up the season soon, but obviously Metalocalypse, we're just getting started on the third season. So looking forward to that. But until then, that's going to be all me for now.
Excellent. Well, yeah, this was a fun bit of episodes. This was this again. I'm surprised I missed this growing up. This is actually a really fun show.
Yeah, especially for a Disney show, and that's still not. Actually, they've been Disney Plus has been adding a couple new things. They just got Gargoyles on Disney Plus. So
You want to try that again?
What?
They've had Gargoyles way before, like back when I had a Disney Plus.
I feel like there's something that regarding Gargoyles that they just added. I don't know if it's like the comic or something weird, but I heard that they added something Gargoyles related. But yeah, there's still no Pepper Ann, no Recess, no Fillmore. That one Saturday morning ass block of amazing shows. Again, like I've brought up multiple times already, we spoke to a lot about on our Digimon episode about the WB Kids WB. One Saturday morning and Fox Kids, the show blocks of all those animated shows back in the early aughts.
Right.
They need to get their shit together and put the Aladdin show, the Hercules show, fucking incredibly stuff that they need to put on there because just to get that app fucking worth it again. Anyway, ready to head out?
Yeah, I'm when you are.
Okay, well, from us here at Action Toon Bros. Keep it sleazy.